In the quiet vacuum of deep space, where time drifts and stars don't twinkle, something ancient and mysterious stirred. It wasn't a star, a planet, or even a comet. It was something else. 3I Atlas. And Earth's gaze turned skyward. In the final quarter of 2025, NASA, alongside observatories worldwide, began tracking an object that defied everything we thought we knew about celestial motion. It was fast, bright, and above all, deliberate. At first, the anomaly sat only in whispers, leaked logs, curious spectral readings, flickers on deep space arrays. Then came a name, 3I Atlas. And something even more impossible followed. NASA, desperate to observe it up close, quietly looked to one spacecraft still drifting far beyond the solar system's edge. An old sentinel, a long-forgotten messenger, Voyager 2. Launched in 1977, Voyager 2 was never meant to live this long. It had already gifted humanity its only close-up views of Uranus and Neptune before entering the eternal cold of interstellar space. Its power was dwindling, instruments decaying, but it was still alive, still listening. And more importantly, it was far enough out. Telescopes, Webb, Hubble, the ground-based arrays, had all trained themselves on 3I Atlas. They measured its brightness, caught pulses of thermal radiation, and traced a trajectory that screamed, "This is not normal." But every one of those instruments was still trapped inside the solar system's gravity well. To truly engage the object, NASA needed something already out there. And so, with hope and hesitation, they turned to Voyager 2. In late August 2025, NASA's Deep Space Network sent a batch of encrypted commands to Voyager 2. Officially, it was routine calibration. Unofficially, it was a roll of the dice, a covert attempt to pivot the aging probe toward a potential intercept path with 3I Atlas. For days, there was silence. Then, on September 2nd, Voyager replied, not with a standard ping or handshake, but with something strange, something layered. Voyager's returning signal carried a secondary pulse embedded within the carrier wave. It wasn't noise. It wasn't random. It was patterned, consistent, strikingly synchronized with a 4-hour cycle that James Webb had just picked up from 3I Atlas weeks earlier. Was this a coincidence? A hardware glitch? NASA engineers weren't sure. But when spectral analysis confirmed the signal's fingerprint matched the rhythm of the interstellar object, the tension in the control room grew heavy. Then Voyager began doing things it wasn't supposed to do. Its frequency started subtly shifting, adjusting itself in real time, as if reacting to changes in the solar wind. That level of adaptation wasn't in its programming. The conclusion was chilling. Voyager wasn't just detecting the signal, it was acting on it. Some engineers suggested the spacecraft was simply echoing back emissions it intercepted, like a radio bouncing noise. But a darker theory emerged quickly. Maybe 3I Atlas was using Voyager, speaking through it. NASA flagged the transmission as a co-opted transmitter event. No official statements were made, but internally, a wave of disbelief washed over mission control. By mid-September, something else happened. Voyager 2's trajectory, long predictable, long charted, was off. At first, the changes were microscopic, fractions of a degree. But as the days passed, the probe's position began to deviate in a way that couldn't be dismissed as sensor error. Voyager 2 was moving, not outward, but curving inward, toward the projected path of 3I Atlas. No commands had been sent. No logs indicated any thruster burns. Its last maneuver had been decades ago. Yet the spacecraft was now steering. Alarmed, NASA attempted to shut Voyager down. Sending the shutdown code should have been simple, but instead of going dark, the spacecraft responded with something never seen before. A burst of data filled with prime numbers, layered again with that haunting 4-hour rhythm. Each time the shutdown code was resent, Voyager answered with another structured signal, as if saying, "I hear you, but I'm not stopping." At this point, engineers began to fear the worst. Voyager was no longer responding to us. It had been taken. NASA's code analysts were the next to sound the alarm. The data wasn't random static. It wasn't noise. It was communication. The carrier wave carried sequences of primes, long believed by SETI researchers to be the mathematical hello of intelligent life. But that wasn't all. Each cluster was followed by telemetry, not Voyager's telemetry. Telemetry matching 3I Atlas. It was impossible. Voyager had no visual line of sight, no functional sensors capable of such analysis. Yet the data matched Webb's own readings, emissions, frequencies, even spectral fragments. 3I Atlas, it seemed, was using Voyager as a voice, a vessel, a relay, and then the image came through. Hidden in the transmission was a compressed file, just noise at first glance. But after processing, it revealed a triangular object with ridged extensions and a glowing core. The geometry was precise, the symmetry undeniable. The match to 3I Atlas was beyond coincidence. The image wasn't just a picture, it was a schematic. The ridges explained radio spikes, the core pulse aligned with thermal emissions. The entire structure was a blueprint, and it came directly through Voyager 2. Around the same time the image was received, telescopes watching 3I Atlas noticed something terrifying. The object's trajectory changed. It accelerated, not chaotically, like a comet shedding gas, but deliberately. Its path bent inward toward the ecliptic, toward the planets, toward us. In some simulations, its closest approach to Earth shrank to under 20 million kilometers. The timing, right after the image transmission, and then came the signal within the signal. On September 3rd, analysts picked up a new modulation layered within Voyager's existing carrier wave. But this wasn't generated by the probe. It was too precise, too advanced, and its contents? Binary code mapping Voyager's internal engineering, line by line, down to blueprints buried in NASA's 1970s-era archives. Somehow, the entity behind 3I Atlas not only understood our technology, it was rewriting it. The modulation wasn't just descriptive, it was executable. Hours after the new command burst, Voyager 2's long-dead magnetometer suddenly came online. No command from Earth had triggered it. The conclusion was inescapable. 3I Atlas wasn't just communicating, it was programming Voyager 2. In internal NASA forums, defense experts posed horrifying questions. If an alien object could hijack a deep space probe, what else could it control? Then, on September 12, 2025, Voyager sent one last signal. Ordinary on the surface. But the tail carried a final burst, longer, more complex than any before. Then, nothing. Voyager 2 was gone. NASA sent recovery pings, reboot commands, fail-safes. Nothing worked. After 48 years of whispering across space, Earth's oldest messenger had gone silent, and the world noticed. News outlets eulogized Voyager 2, but online communities weren't so sentimental. Forums erupted, memes exploded, hashtag Atlas Warship trended. So did hashtag Voyager hijacked. Speculation turned dark. Had the object taken the probe? Had Voyager delivered a message we didn't understand and paid the price? The probe, once a symbol of exploration and peace, had become a cautionary tale, a ghost ship, a bridge to something far more complex and alien than we were ready for. And somewhere, 3i Atlas kept coming. Its pulses continued, its path sharpened, and Earth? Earth was listening.